Buckle up. Seriously, strap yourself in because we are standing right on the precipice.
Oh, absolutely. The tension is palpable.
We are exactly 48 hours away from the moment the silence just breaks. 48 hours from the smell of high-octane fuel and the roar of engines in Barcelona.
The winter hibernation is officially over.
This coming Monday, January 26th, the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya opens its gates for the first real battleground of 2026. But, and this is a massive but, the headline shaking the paddock isn't about who is there.
No, it's about who isn't. It's unprecedented for this early in the year. Usually testing is a gentle warm-up.
Shaking off the rust?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this year, the atmosphere feels toxic. The psychological warfare has started before a single wheel has turned.
That's it. The grid is incomplete. We have these gaping holes in the roster. You've got the reigning champions, McLaren, pulling a total vanishing act on day one.
And then at the complete other end of the spectrum,
You have a legendary team, Williams, that has just completely collapsed before the lights have even gone green. The stakes, they're through the roof. This isn't just testing. This is where the championship is either secured or thrown in the trash. Welcome to the DRS zone.
the only place for raw, unfiltered Formula One.
And today, we are tearing apart the strategy, the secrecy, and the absolute panic gripping this grid.
And we have a mountain to climb today. The decisions being made right now are going to dictate, really dictate, the pace for the first half of the season.
So let's just dive in. The biggest story right now, McLaren, the team to beat.
Constructors' champs in 24 swept everything last year with Lando, the benchmark.
You would think, logically, they'd be the first ones out, chest out, proud, showing off that number one on the nose. But no. Breaking news confirms McLaren will not run on day one in Barcelona.
They're skipping Monday entirely.
Yeah.
It sends a shockwave, doesn't it? It just feels wrong.
It does.
But you have to listen to what the team principal, Andrea Stella, is saying. He is adamant, and really adamant, that this is not a delay.
Hold on, though. Plan A. Skipping the first day of school is Plan A. How do you even justify that?
Well, in this economic climate, yes. What's fascinating here is the trade-off. It is a brutal, brutal calculation. They are trading track time for development time.
So the car is built. It exists.
Oh, yeah. Stella confirmed it. The car is assembled. It's sitting on the AVL test bench in Austria right now, running simulated laps. But they are not bringing it to the Spanish asphalt. Not yet.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me. Why leave the car in Austria when the track is in Spain? Why trust a computer over reality?
It comes down to this whole debate of the SPEC A versus the real car.
Right.
And this is an aggressive economic strategy. It's all driven by the cost cap.
Mm-hmm.
Think about a team like Ferrari. They're old school.
What are they doing?
They're doing a shakedown at Fiorano as we speak. They're bringing what we call a SPEC A to Barcelona.
Okay, define Spec A for everyone listening, because some people might think there's only one car.
The SPEC A is, it's essentially a placeholder, a basic version of the Challenger. It's a shell.
It's just a shell.
It has the engine, the cooling, the safety structures,
Okay.
but it doesn't have the complex, the really expensive aero parts that make it fast.
So it's a generic launch spec. It's just there to make sure the oil doesn't leak and the gearbox doesn't explode.
That's its only job. Reliability, not speed.
Yeah.
They just want to see the wheels turn, tick the boxes.
Right. But building that car costs a fortune.
Exactly. Here's the problem. That SPEC A car costs millions. You're manufacturing carbon fiber floors, wings, bodywork that you're going to throw in the trash in 2 weeks.
It's just waste. Pure waste.
When the real upgrades arrive for Bahrain, that SPEC A is completely obsolete.
And McLaren is looking at that bill and just saying, nope, not doing it.
They're refusing to spend the budget on dummy parts. They're saying, we don't need a practice run. They're saving all that cash.
And pouring it into what?
Into the actual performance upgrades for Bahrain and Australia, the parts that win races.
So while Ferrari is running a glorified meal on Monday, McLaren wants to roll out on day 2 or 3 with a fully armed weapon.
That is the gamble. Stella says by skipping the production of the basic car, they gain development time for the fast car. They think starting with a more competitive car is worth missing a few hours on Monday.
Quality over quantity.
That's the bet.
It's arrogant, isn't it? It borders on hubris. It's that champion's confidence. We don't need to check if the bolts are tight. We know they are.
Well, there's another layer to this. The secrecy.
Yes. It's not just the test. They're also skipping their filming day. No shakedown, no promotional photos, nothing.
And that raises a huge question. Why hide? A filming day is standard. It's 100 kilometers on demo tires. You get footage for sponsors.
So if you skip it.
If you skip a filming day, It means you don't want high-risk cameras pointed at your floor or your diffuser. You don't want leaks.
Okay, speculate with me. We love a good conspiracy here. What are they hiding?
The theory, the one circulating in the paddock, and this is where it gets spicy, is that it's not just about money. It's about a gray area.
Ooh, I like it.
McLaren has been the benchmark for, what, 18 months now? They beat Mercedes with their own engine. The rumor is they might have found a regulatory loophole, a laguna, in the regulations.
And they want to keep it hidden.
For as long as humanly possible. Because the minute that car rolls out on Monday...
10,000 photos are taken. Ferrari and Red Bull have engineers back at the factory analyzing every single pixel.
And if McLaren has a trick, and they show it on Monday, everyone has 5 days to try and copy it. But if they wait until Wednesday or Thursday...
The rivals have way less time to react. I love it. It's a high-speed poker game. They're holding the aces and just refusing to show their hand.
But, and there's always a but.
Always. What's the risk?
The risk is catastrophic. We have to talk about tunnel-to-track correlation.
We have seen this movie before.
Oh, we have. Remember Mercedes with the Zero Pod? The simulation said it was a rocket ship. They put it on track, and it bounced like a basketball.
And Aston Martin, struggling to get their numbers to match reality. The only truth in Formula One is the asphalt.
Exactly. If McLaren's sim data from that bench in Austria is wrong, even by 1%, they lose that crucial day of validation on Monday. You can't simulate the wind gusts at turn 3 in Barcelona.
Our cold track surface.
You can't. And if that correlation is off, they have less time to fix it. If they arrive Wednesday and the car just doesn't work, they look like absolute fools.
But there's a little bit of a safety net here, right? With the rules.
Yes. And this makes the gamble more calculated. The Barcelona test is 5 days, from the 26th to the 30th. But the rules say each team can only choose 3 of those 5 days.
So wait, they're not actually losing total track time?
No. And that's the genius of it. They can sit out Monday, they can run Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
They still get their 3 days in.
They just start later. So they lose the early start, but not the total mileage allowance.
That changes the perspective completely. It makes it seem much more like 4D chess than a panic move. They're betting on their engineers.
They are. But let's zoom out a bit. You mentioned the engine. This is 2026. The landscape has shifted.
Big time.
It's the start of a new regulation cycle. Since 2022, we had that engine freeze. That was great for customer teams like McLaren. The power unit dimensions were fixed. They could package their car perfectly around that Mercedes engine.
Because nothing was changing.
But now, we have new regulations. The engines are different, cooling's different.
And being a customer is suddenly a lot harder. You're not the priority anymore.
It's a huge disadvantage. Mercedes, the factory team, they get the definitive power unit data first. They know the cooling needs, the exact piping, all of it. McLaren gets that info later. There's a lag.
And in a year with new rules, that lag can be deadly.
And Mercedes is playing games too. They revealed their car late, January 22nd. They're keeping their cards incredibly close to their chest. No favors.
They want to reclaim the throne. They're not giving McLaren any help.
Look at the contrast, though. You've got Ferrari wanting mileage. They want to be bulletproof. McLaren wants perfection right out of the box. And Red Bull.
Red Bull's doing the exact same thing as McLaren. They're hiding. No early reveals. The big guns are refusing to show their hands. It's standoff.
It's the privilege of the fast. The teams at the back, they need to run just to see if the car works. The teams at the front are refining tenths.
Speaking of teams at the back, we have to shift gears. We have to go from the calculated, arrogant silence of McLaren to the absolute nightmare unfolding at Williams.
It's a difficult transition to make because what's happening at Williams isn't a strategy, it's a disaster, a total collapse.
The news is confirmed. Williams will not be in Barcelona, not for day 1, not for day 5. They are out. Total absence.
They aren't just late, they aren't coming.
For a team with that heritage, it's heartbreaking. The FW48 is significantly delayed. This isn't a plan A.
No, this confirms all those rumors about severe complications in production. This is a failure of process.
How bad is this? In modern F1, missing a test. Give it to me straight.
It is tragic. I don't use that word lightly in sports. Track time is gold dust. With the testing limits, every single lap is data. To miss an entire test, you're starting the season blind.
They're missing the correlation checks. They don't know if the car they designed on a computer is real.
They won't know if the cooling works, if the brakes overheat, if the suspension geometry matches the simulator. I mean, while McLaren is worried about hiding a secret weapon, Williams is worried about just getting a car built.
And the clock is ticking. The Bahrain test is February 11th. That's just over 2 weeks away.
And if they miss that, They arrive in Australia for the first race, March 6, having never driven the car in anger. That is a safety risk. It's a performance death sentence. You can't recover from that.
Feels like we're just seeing the gulf widen, the rich get smarter, and the struggling teams just drown.
It's a resource failure. McLaren skips a day to save money for upgrades. Williams skips a week because they literally could not put the car together in time. It's the brutality of the sport.
And just to be clear for our listeners, this segment is part of our news coverage of recent F1 events. We are reporting the facts as they stand 48 hours out.
But if you connect this to the bigger picture, think about morale. That's the hidden cost. You're a mechanic at Williams, you've worked 18-hour days all winter, you get to Barcelona, you see McLaren playing chess.
And your garage bay is empty.
Your garage is empty because the parts didn't arrive or they didn't fit. That destroys a team from the inside out.
It really does. Saps the energy before the fight even begins. Okay, so let's recap. We have a split grid. On one side, McLaren, gambling on simulation.
Gambling that their real car, arriving late, will be so much faster than Ferrari's SPEC A that the lost day just won't matter. They're betting on their own genius.
Not on the other side. A survival battle. Williams is just trying to exist. And in the middle, you have Ferrari and Mercedes just waiting to capitalize.
It's fascinating that the two teams that fought for the title last year, McLaren and Red Bull, are the ones hiding. They've earned that right, in a way.
But let me ask you, what if McLaren turns up on day 2 and that car has reliability issues? What if that engine packaging is too tight because Mercedes didn't give them the data in time?
Then they look foolish. That is the knife edge. If Stella is right, they start the season with a faster car and they look like visionaries. If he's wrong and they have a breakdown, they have no margin for error.
And remember, the only truth is the stopwatch. We can talk about test benches in Austria all day. Until Lando Norris puts his foot down on that main straight in Barcelona, we don't know anything for sure.
Simulation is a map. The track is the territory. And that is why this week is so critical. Even if McLaren isn't there Monday, all eyes will be on that garage just waiting for the doors to open.
The tension is going to be suffocating.
Absolutely.
So the question for you, listening right now, is simple. Is McLaren's arrogance going to cost them the jump on the season? Or have they just outsmarted Ferrari before a wheel has even turned?
Is this the behavior of a dynasty? Or is it the first crack in the armor?
And for the Williams fans, and I know there are many loyal ones out there, the question is harder. Is the season already over before it began?
Can you recover from missing that gold dust track time in this era?
It is going to be a wild week. The silence ends Monday. The drama has already started. Do not miss a single beat of this season. We're going to be breaking down every lap, every sector, every technical update.
Every single one.
Follow the DRS Zone right now on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. We are live, we are loud, and we are just getting started.
See you on the track.
Lights out.